Hello, everyone. This has been a pretty wild month. Like, so many things have been happening. It feels like July picked up and it's just been non-stop compared to June. So, has anyone else just been like feeling this crazy, busy energy? Like, let me know. Also, I want to get into ego death. I feel like it's been like a month now. I've been feeling this energy, and I want to relate it to the ayahuasca experience that I had because that was the first time I had ever experienced that. And then before we dive in, I also wanted to say and share a download that I was receiving, and it's about the law of rhythm and how everything is finding balance and flow again. We're at what feels like the beginning of a huge trajectory, a huge wave where our soul and our energy is truly aligning to what we came here for. And there's no template for us. So we are in this process right now of trying to spiritually figure out what our foundations look like and how that will manifest, fully surrendering to that energy so that regardless of whatever we're doing on a physical human level, we're embodying an energy of love and compassion and gratitude and joy and happiness into whatever we're creating moving forward. Stabilizing, this is huge, stabilizing that energy within you within a 3D physical dimension is kind of what it feels like is the true test. Finding that balance, finding that stability, being in the eye of the storm, basically, within your own self. So, while you are here, you are stabilizing this energy, you are grounding it, you are bringing it into the earth, and then you are radiating it and sharing that energy with other people. As you awaken, or as you feel love, or as you feel empowered or motivated, all of those energies have the ability to shift other people around you. It's like this inner confidence is coming online, probably because it's approaching like the Lionsgate portal and, August and Leo season, but this is like a spiritual initiation is what I would call it. And it feels like it's been the last 4 years where a lot of people have just been awakening, going through ego deaths, going through huge reality shifts, like big every year. And every time you shed certain aspects of yourself, you will always be taking that time for stillness and integration and kind of sitting in that unknown as you need to just surrender and know everything in divine timing will work out, and you will be able to line up to it because you are in flow and you are walking forward as each step in each path is just becoming known and aware in the moment. So this energy we're creating from and we're embodying on an energetic level because it's reminding us of our true nature, which is being an energy inside of a physical form, being spirit walking around physically. This is one dimension that gives one perspective, like one mode. Uh, it's a physical material world. So we're stepping into this new reality, this new earth again, where we are creating from our energy first. And that's a whole other mindset to have. It really eliminates a lot of stress and future thinking when you are just in the moment. You select what energy you want to embody, and then your reality will reflect that back to you. And then stabilizing that connection, having those boundaries, especially as an empath, so you don't feel drained. So your source is your source that you're connecting to. You stop attracting energies that are always like draining from you, or maybe you bring them into your life because they're needing a certain energy from you, or vice versa, right? So having those boundaries in place to not feel drained or overwhelmed is huge. This initiation, oh, this is so cool. Is okay, how do I explain this? Let me figure this out. Okay, yes. This shift that we are making, this initiation, is Christ consciousness. It is an awareness and a consciousness is coming online. So for so many people, if you have felt like, why am I here? What am I doing? Why are there no signs? Why am I not where I want to be? Why do I feel this, but it's not here yet? I don't understand. It's like this next month, like the month of August, feels like when a lot of these conscious shifts are going to be made. So don't focus so much on the future. Really sit with what you're receiving in these moments now and fully surrender and step into this energy of trust and know that everything will work out in the timing it's meant to, that you are exactly where you need to be so that you can be here right now receiving these codes that are coming in specifically aligning to this time and space and the dimension that we're in. This is a huge responsibility to have because when you've created this space, you're allowing for higher consciousness. You're allowing for higher guidance to step in. You're allowing the connection for your soul and your spirit to finally merge with your human, with your ego, with your personality. And it will guide your life in a way now where it will align you, because it is you, into a reality where you can best utilize your specific energy and your specific codes and frequencies to to thrive, to grow in that environment. And what that looks like, only you will know. But silence, and yes, silence is your teacher. Sit within that teaching and allow yourself to listen, allow yourself to receive, allow yourself to not do anything, that you are enough, and just sit in this moment and just be. Because the consciousness that's coming in will be a match to your vibration. As above, so below. There's just so much information. That's why I'm like, I don't know what to say first, but I kept hearing like, as above, so below. The work you are doing here will in turn affect the higher dimensions. So as you are raising, so are they. There is this galactic union that's taking place. On a conscious level, it would be how they communicate. So all shapes must abide by the shape they're given. All bodies must abide by the shape they're given. Let me figure out how to interpret this. Basically, what I'm saying is your energy in physical form has to abide by the physical body, the shape it is given, the world it is in, meaning we are in a physical body and there are certain laws pertaining to that. There are certain limitations being in a human body. What is unlimited is the mind. And therein are guides. And this level of consciousness, these ascended masters, are in a higher vibration. So they must also abide by the shape that they are given, by the body they are given. So their vibration, their body is light. They don't need to necessarily be in physical form. So for them to come through, you must be a vibrational match. And this kind of gets into like what I was feeling about the kingdom of heaven, which is like not something I've really ever thought about or explored, and having Jesus like depicted with the heart and it's on fire, and it's, to me, it really means like the kingdom of heaven is within yourself. Like you are creating it right now by stabilizing the love frequency, by stabilizing a higher vibration amongst a world full of duality and chaos and fear and everything that falls into that. That is a true test. That is a true spiritual initiation to go through. So where you are now, they need to abide by the body you are in as well, which is why they will communicate through consciousness, through your dreams, through higher vibration, and vibrate within your body, within your cells, and communicate. So it feels like there's going to be a lot of messages and a lot of like inner world shifts that people are going to be receiving, which is like so exciting for everyone that's into this, because that is kind of where this initiation is leading from. And it's building this support system within ourself where physically, mentally, emotionally, and now spiritually, there is this interconnectedness where you are whole, and you are now taking that wholeness out into this environment, into this universe, with a proper high vibrational energy rooted in love, creating your reality. Your reality now has to shift to match you and the people within your reality, which is so beautiful, and receiving these higher forms of consciousness. So you will be a match to everything you are attracting, and there is this awareness component to it as well. So It's incredible. Get ready for this amazing journey. It feels like we are at the beginning of huge, massive shifts, and this year is like really solidifying your spiritual foundations, really pulling yourself out of one reality and merging into the new earth. Like it feels like the shift is finally here. And to start creating from that energetic world now. There's really been a huge split, and they're both existing at the same time, which is beautiful and amazing. So, which one do you want to create from? Make a choice. Okay, so let's talk about ego death and my experience with ayahuasca. It is a plant-based medicine made from the chacuna leaf and the ayahuasca plant, the bark, and it has DMT in it, and that is a chemical we produce in our brain usually, when you're being born or moving into when you're passing. And if you hear people talk about like their grandparents, if they talk about seeing people who have passed on and they're talking as if they're right there, it's like the spirit molecule that way. And working with the shamans we did, having a male and female shaman present, and the space that was held in Peru with people that were embodying that energy as well. They were super vulnerable with their experiences, and they were all on the same level that I was as well. And it was the first time I experienced community, and community that is there to support one another and help one another and work towards each other's betterment, which is an experience in itself. So I had no prior knowledge to anything I'm about to tell you, because this is just what I personally experienced. And I won't go into like full detail of like the unnecessary things, but the things that really hit home for me and that are pertaining specifically to this shedding process that we're in right now, this clearing. So with this medicine, it took about 30 minutes for it to start taking effect. And when it did, I was told, I could hear a voice in my head that was like, sit up straight. So I was like sitting like I was meditating. My legs were crossed, my hands were on my heart. And I could hear this voice in my head say, we're going to trade places. And I was like, what? And then I got this feeling of like tingles everywhere. If you've ever had like your foot or arm fall asleep, it was like that, but all over my entire body. I could literally feel every follicle, every cell, every part. Like I remember touching my face. I was like, what? Like it didn't even feel like it was in physical form. It was just vibrating so fast. And then of course my heart's racing, and I was like, oh my God, what did I just do? And those fear-based thoughts come, and I could hear this voice saying, to surrender, to let go. And it was like this nurturing motherly love. And I realized as this was happening, it was almost like someone was tickling my stomach. I could feel this energy in my stomach that was laughing and giggling, and they were getting excited, and they were so happy to be in a physical body. And I was like, what is going on? Like, I legit was like, I'm going crazy. What is happening right now? It was so real and so visceral. And I realized they were just so excited to be in a physical body, to be in human form, and the level of honor and appreciation that they had towards the body. Again, like I will never forget that feeling. I will always honor myself in that way now, because the level of excitement and the awareness that they had to the gift we have, being in our own body and being an embodiment of our own frequency, and sharing that frequency with other frequencies, other people, and what that looks like when we come together and vibrate even higher and shift. Like we're literally shifting into a new reality with our vibration, and we have this unlocking component with our vibration and our frequency to help people get to the next level. We're all starting to click and align, like the pieces of the puzzle are really coming together right now. So anyways, I could feel my whole entire body shifting, and I could see, this was wild. I just saw this like white light, and I realized at this point my eyes weren't even open. And I saw this bright white light, and there was like this 8-foot tall blue woman, super long dark hair, glowing white eyes, so feminine, almost like snake-like. And that was when I started kind of doing these like hand gestures with my hands, and I could see these snakes all up and down my forearms, moving up and down. They almost looked translucent. And then as I was looking at them, I would breathe And that would be the sound I would make, and then I would hear it almost echo. And then I realized I could see all of these, they looked to me like threads almost, all different colors. And as I would breathe, I could see my breath in color. It was the most expanding experience I had ever had in my life. There was like a whole other dimension working around us that we're not even aware of. It was like I could see the sounds hardcore, but like the fabrics of existence, like the veil was so thin. So anyways, this woman, she said, lie down. We were gonna trade places, and I just lied down and I let myself go. And as I was feeling this, it was like I could feel my heart racing, and like I was vibrating out of my chest. As I was vibrating out of my chest, I could feel this bright white light, and then it took form in front of me. There was two of them. And in this state of consciousness, this is where the ego death comes into it. There was no ego. There wasn't Zach Savage. There wasn't the job that I have or the family I was born into. I was my pure consciousness and my pure frequency in a higher dimension. And when I was in this dimension, everything that they told me, I would respond as if like, how could I forget? I am this. And it was like this remembrance came online from raising my vibration, from getting out of the ego, from allowing myself to shed, to be shown the truer, higher purpose of my being, which is again the energy I feel like a lot of people are going to be experiencing, especially within the next month. So there was a male and female energy. Gender is irrelevant. It's the principle of the energy behind it, that the feminine and the masculine being divine that they would have. And I knew one was male, one was female. There wasn't names or anything like that. They were talking to me, and I realized as they were talking, it was like I could see the physical light body form, but their mouths weren't moving, and my mouth wasn't moving either. And I realized I was hearing them in my mind. That was the first time I experienced like awareness around telepathy. And they said, you're a teacher. You came to Earth to teach. And I was like, I am a teacher, which would be something I would not say when I'm just like in my energy and in my body. And then they were like, you're a channeler. You came here to channel. And they were telling me that I was a future consciousness, that I wasn't from Earth. And as they were saying this to me, there was this bright golden energy. It was so bright. It would look like, if you imagine like nighttime and like headlights being on a car, if you look at one of the headlights, it was just this bright glowing light. And I was so drawn to it. And it was this golden energy, and I was speaking to it, and I said, oh my God, you're me. And the energy responded, I am you. And this energy was explaining that that I was an aspect of them and they are me. It is the same thing. It is one experienced among the many. And that was when I became aware of like parallel realities and other dimensions, other existences that were also in physical form, but this level of consciousness is very separate and singular, where they have this multidimensional consciousness, being aware of multiple realities simultaneously, which is again this like new earth shift that we're all going to be moving into, because we're literally giving birth to a new body. We're giving birth to a new template, which is amazing to be a match for this vibration, for this energy to be in, to embody. So cool. So anyways, this energy was explaining that I was them. And it was almost like I interpreted him in, like I felt this energy as a male. So I interpreted him as moving his hand behind himself. And he showed me this giant purple planet. And I was like, oh my God, like that's home. And it was this remembrance and awareness that was like wave after wave of goosebumps. And then he said something to me that I had never heard. And he said, I'm going to give you a light body activation. And I was like, okay. And I had no idea what it was. But in the moment, I just knew my soul aligned for this. It was needed. So I remember I was lying down, and as he spoke those words, this entire vibration overwhelmed my entire body, where like, I'm not gonna physically act it out, but like my eyes were rolling back from my head, my hands were doing this. I was like convulsing, and I was so cold. I don't even know how long this lasted for, but it was a long time. I'm gonna say it was like at least 2 hours, that it was just, I couldn't control my body. I was shivering, my mouth was shaking. I thought I was dying, basically, which again is the whole point of an ego death. You shed huge layers on a cellular level or a self level to bring in a higher vibration, to clear away. So this light body activation was aligning me to my cosmic DNA, this remembrance within me. And as this was happening, I thought I had gone to Peru to heal the trauma I experienced with my father and the masculine energies within my life. And this medicine told me no, that you came here to heal your own self. And there was this level of accountability and responsibility we have as light workers to have the contracts with certain souls. And then as we complete them and transmute them, we realize there's so many fragments of our soul that we have given, that it is this time to bring them back in so that we can fully step into our power finally, after lifetime of suppression, to move forward confidently, motivated, and purposely, with the intention of creating a new earth that is based upon love and peace and trust, like all of these higher vibrations, which is why it can feel so sticky and dense being here, or not like it's home, or not comfortable, because there's this remembrance of knowing that you are an alien, you're not from here, but your consciousness, this future consciousness, has come here with this remembrance to expand and evolve now consciously. That is what I was receiving, is like the one of the main purposes of being here, for these levels of completion and the embodiment of future consciousness, evolving the human template consciously. It's not like monkey to man now. It's like the next level is like cosmic interdimensional connection. So anyways, I started seeing, as I was asking this about my father, I started seeing all these memories come back. And these memories were coming back of a time where I was dealing with hardcore energies and going through what alcoholism looks like in physical form. And that level of suffering and that level of lack of love, lack of worth, like a lot of lack and suffering in physical form, choosing to come out through the form of alcoholism. And that was related to my mother. And I was brought back to this memory of, what did I experience as that version of me? And what was I going through? What was I thinking? And it was like I was standing in the room watching this memory happen. And I could see myself, I could see my feelings, I could see my thoughts, how I was perceiving. And now it was like I was watching myself go through this experience and see it from an even higher perspective. And I could hear my mom's voice, and I could hear her saying, "I love you so much. Don't think I don't love you." And I knew that it had nothing to do with me in that moment, and the things I would have taken personally, or how can I help you, or what have I done wrong, those feelings at the time were so real, but were taking away from her truth and her contracts, and where her soul is needing to grow and learn, and understanding we all have free will. And there's a level of boundary and compassion that is needed, and understanding that each soul is going through their own lessons in whatever energy or form they choose to learn them through. And you can't control that for someone else. So I was holding the space in this moment, and I was bawling, because I was like, oh my God, it was like all of those emotions, all of that heaviness were like released. It was like I let that level of attachment go, because I understood the amount of love and compassion these higher energies have for humanity, and how we have that ability within ourselves to live fully compassionately. So it went from that memory to all of a sudden I could see this purple figure and it looked like static, and I could see this vibration, and I was like, Nama? Like I knew it was my grandmother. And that year I had I had lost my grandmother and my grandfather, and I saw her energy and I was like, Nama, like, where are you? And it was so cool. It was like she picked me out of my body and she lifted me up, and I was a part of this like giant purple wave of energy. And it felt like if you were on a floaty in water and you were just letting yourself kind of move, it was that level of just ease. And I was like, wow, the only thing you bring over here is love. It's the only thing that exists. That is why bringing in and anchoring that level of love and that vibration within ourselves and physically embodying it and stabilizing it while we are here is a part of this initiation that I'm talking about. And moving into the new earth, moving into that kingdom of heaven, which is like new for me. Like I've never thought about it or related it to anything, but that was just what I was receiving when I was tapping into this information. And in that moment I knew there's it's not a transition. It's not a physical place we're leaving and going to. It's an energetic embodiment we are now aligning ourselves to. So when we leave physical form, your vibration is a match. It's like in Egypt when they would weigh your heart and they would weigh the heart and the feather to see like how much of that love you lived in, with the choices you made, and if the heart outweighed the feather, what if you were allowed into that like next step of initiation. So it's a vibrational match. You have to be a vibrational match. So that was kind of like the core of what I learned. And then when I was coming back, this is where a huge lesson was. There was like 30 minutes where I could not remember my name. And I was just like, I don't know who I am. And I just sat there, and like the lights were coming on and other people were kind of moving around. And I was just kind of sitting there like looking around and to the side. And I was like, I don't know who I am. I don't know my name. And it was scary. And for probably like 15 of those minutes is when I started to kind of remember, and then things started coming back within that half an hour. And I remembered I did hair. It was like my ego remembered all of the identities, all of the attachments, all of the things that version of me had created. And I was just coming out of this quantum limitless potential reality. And when I remembered my name, there was this part where I was like, oh my God. I was so happy because I didn't feel lost. And that is where a huge part of the ego death comes from. We have to go through this period of feeling lost. A lot of people feel lonely. A lot of people don't really know what the next step is or how that is going to look. And this period of sitting with ourselves is needed to not have the influence or the distraction from other people or from other influences, so you can really feel and know and hear your own self. You can step into that version of you. It really lets you see the identities you've created, and whatever was aligned to those identities at whatever vibrational match you were are crumbling if they're not aligning to this higher energy. So we're going through this clearing process right now and surrendering truly and divinely to that, and sitting with it and accepting it is massive. And it will result in so much growth when you are on the other side of that, which is why keeping that higher perspective is huge as you're going through these awakenings or these ego deaths, allowing those aspects of you to be seen, to be felt, to be honored. And then you can, it's kind of like, to heal them, you need to feel them. And then as you allow yourself to let them go and honor them and thank them for that version of you, you can move forward into this moment with the love you're embodying and start really aligning to the highest timeline that you came here to create, which is the whole point. Align yourself to your own frequency. And sometimes in order to find ourselves, we have to lose ourselves, which is why this sense of remembrance is coming back right now. Because as you remember, it will shift your DNA. It will shift your cells. When you learn from example, or you learn from your mistakes, or you learn from past experiences, this level of remembrance works the same. It's this integration that's happening right now. So stay in alignment, continue to just like love and nurture and honor yourself. Live in balance where you know you are aligning spiritually and building that foundation, and that everything that's not serving you, that's not an energetic match anymore, is being cleared and shifted out. We're learning to really live in trust, to really live in love, to let go of any of those attachments, not in the sense of letting everything go, but whatever needs to be cleared away, to be cleared away, and then supporting yourself to know that you are strong and resilient and capable of getting yourself to that next step, wherever that may be. So this is a really soulful, empowered time. The energies coming in are here to really help and assist you. So get clear on who you are and what you're wanting, and start being that. Start walking as that. Start feeling that. Start magnetizing that. Let it come into your reality, because you are worthy and you deserve the highest and best reality. So I love you guys. Thank you so much for all of your support. The sessions and the practice readings have been amazing. This is a beautiful community. I love that we get to meet one another online, we get to connect, we get to bring our frequency together, and it's a community that we can create to support one another. So I love you. I hope this message resonates, and if it does, like, leave a comment. I would love to hear what you have to share, because a part of this is sharing our experiences, sharing our stories and perspectives, so that we can learn. You can treat almost everyone's experiences as those lifetimes, so we can integrate and learn so much from other people within our daily lives, each and every single day, just by sharing who we are, by being our most authentic, confident self. So I love